Dorian Yates shares tribute to Mike Mentzer on his birthday. Dorian Yates shared a post on November 15 and talked about the influential Mike Mentzer had on him. Mike Mentzer remains one of the most influential figures in bodybuilding decades after his career on stage. Despite never winning the Mr. Olympia title, Mentzer is known as one of the greatest competitors from the golden era of bodybuilding, and many of his methods are still used today. Mentzer's birthday passed on November 15 and bodybuilding legend Dorian Yates shared a post in tribute. Famed for his feud with Arnold Schwarzenegger at the 1980 Mr. Olympia contest, Mike Mentzer was considered to be one of the best bodybuilders of the golden era. It was even argued that Mentzer should have won the 1980 Olympia. Apart from being a top-level competitive bodybuilder, Mentzer was a straight-A student in school. As a pre-med student at the University of Maryland, Mentzer spent his time away from the gym studying genetics, physical and organic chemistry. Full name, Mike Mentzer, Golden Era Bodybuilder. Weight, height, date of birth. 225 to 235 pounds, 5'8", November 15, 1951. Division era, nationality. Men's Open, 1970s, 80s American. Mentzer passed away at 49 years old but made a hug impact on the bodybuilding world at a young age. This includes working with Yates during the heights of his career. Yates is a six-time Olympia champion that created one of the all-time great physiques. Dorian Yates shares tribute to Mike Mentzer. Yates continued on to explain how he met Mentzer and began training with him at Gold's Gym. Dorian Yates took to Instagram on November 15 to share memories about his relationship with Mike Mentzer. Yates explains how he first encountered Mentzer when he was a writer for Yates magazine. Mike was the most influential for me. The stuff I read from him resonated, and although I wasn't into philosophy back then, I would love to have conversations with him now as I've matured mentally, physically, and philosophically. November 15, 1951, Mike Mentzer was born. He was writing for the Yates magazine, I believe, when I first came across his articles and became inspired by his logic. Guys like Mike, Tom Platz, Casey Viator, and Arthur Jones were my role models, although I never met them in person back then, except seeing Tom on stage in the 80s, but through the image of words they became my role models, especially as I didn't have my father growing up. But Mike was the most influential for me. The stuff I read from him resonated, and although I wasn't into philosophy back then, I would love to have conversations with him now as I've matured mentally, physically, and philosophically. With Mike, it goes beyond his physique, although his physique was incredible. Plus he had that strongman mustache which was unrivaled. That was the bodybuilding I was into, pushing to both physical and mental limits. Not the Greek god posing, but the hardcore power building almost. And of course, he was a free thinker like myself, so again that side of him resonated with me as I was a rebel. Going against the grain, asking the why, challenging the normal way of thinking in training. I got to meet him in the flesh in '91 where we had a conversation. And over the next 2 years I got to train with him in Gold's Gym. We trained 5 to 6 times in total, and it was Mike who believed I would benefit from cutting back to just one working set. He wasn't my coach, just to be clear. We didn't talk nutrition or PEDs as I thought I was confident enough in that, so we only talked training mainly. In all my meetings with him he came across as a very intelligent and kind man. Yes, he had some problems and he wasn't perfect, but we're all human and we have ups and downs. Like I said, he had a big influence on me, even though it was originally just through words and pictures. He probably didn't know just how much he was influencing people worldwide, but hopefully I can pass that on. I think that's the main thing, regardless of trophies and material possessions, it's about what impact you had on people and to hopefully do something positive. And I'm certain he had a very positive effect on people. Let's celebrate that. Dorian Yates resonated with Mentzer and his methods because they pushed him to both mental and physical limits. Yates believed in this type of training and it led to a successful career in bodybuilding. It is clear that the positive effect that Mentzer had on Yates will continue on for years to come. This is the same for the sport of bodybuilding as a whole. Like I said, he had a big influence on me, even though it was originally just through words and pictures. He probably didn't know just how much he was influencing people worldwide, but hopefully I can pass that on.